Hey everyone, how's it going? Cell here, and welcome back to episode 11 of the Ultimate Ironman Progress Series. So, first off, right off the bat, I've noticed in watching the clips of the last episode how much I start clips with the phrase, alright, so. I'm going to attempt not to do that so much, and in general, try to avoid verbal fillers. Oh, it's so hard. I can't do it. I was trying to form a sentence. Anyways, before I get to the goals of this episode, we are going to just go ahead, review Ironman mode, and hope I don't mess this up because I'm talking. We're going to make Ironman mode permanent. Yes. Never let me not be an Ironman. There we go. I don't know if this means that I'm always an ultimate. That's what I hope it means, and that's what makes sense to me, but actually, I don't think... Can you transition from an ultimate to a standard Ironman? I have no idea. I guess it would make sense. Like, ultimates have more of a restriction, so that would make sense to me, but maybe that's not the case. Anyways, last episode, we ended up making a big amount of progress. Over 80 total levels gained, I think. Bunch of quest points. Got to 155 and 1077 total. We got graceful. Did a bunch of quests, including an Andrana thing. Cleared out some of the looting bag space as well. Pretty good gains all around. I know I said I wanted to mix it up a little bit and not do so much questing. That is still the case. I do want to do some non-questing content in this episode. But to be honest, I also have this massive list of quests over here on the my note taker in Moonlight. And some of them are high priority, some of them are not. I have a list of quests I want to get done before I start Slayer of any kind, and those are obvious ones like Monkey Madness and all the RFD I can do. But there are also some ones that I have the availability to do right now, and so I wouldn't mind knocking them out. I'm going to try to condense the clips a little more, apart from this intro of course, and not ramble on so much when I'm just giving a quest update, because honestly, most people have seen these quests completed in progress videos or their own play by like multiple times by now, so. Anyways, first order of business is actually some Zaya content. Here's the end of the Forsaken Tower, getting a tiny amount of XP, a little bit of gold, and 10% favor. Yeah, go ahead and read it. Can't use this at the moment, I don't think anyways. I'm realizing I made a massive mistake in using my favor certificate on this house. Apparently Piscarilius is the one you want to use, because I'm going to have to make like at least 10 trips to the sawmill and then back to the ports just to get up to the point where I can do something else for favor, which is a massive pain, but I'll do that at some point. Might not be immediately though. Never mind, I'm a liar. I went ahead and did it. It took a decent amount of time, but honestly it wasn't too bad. And did Queen of Thieves while I was at it. Got us up to 43 thieving and gets us another favor certificate. I think I'm going to go ahead and finish off these two if they aren't too annoying as well while we're at it. There's the Depths of Despair done, quest number 3. I did go a little bit past the point of what we absolutely needed just because I had more compost. I was making fertilizer because I think that's the fast thing to do. It's got to be faster than the plow. I was getting like 38% per hour, so maybe like 15 more minutes. Well, I guess maybe not, because I'm going to end up doing like 100 more to get to 45, and then I can do the next activity. Anyways, only have one more house left to go, and then that's all 5 of the main quests here. That'll be finished. I forgot to mention it in the last clip, but put my Renar and my energy potions here to make it easier to have space to gain favor and do other things, and I've decided I'm gonna have to die again before I use them anyways, so might as well put them in the bag. Back here the next day, finished Tale of the Righteous. Got a decent amount of coins from all these quests combined anyways. Yep, go ahead and gain that. Up to 30 plus in all of the house favor. I do want to get Sidious up to 75%. At some point maybe not immediately, although knowing what I said before, that doesn't hold much weight, does it? Because I want to be able to buy an axe for animal magnetism. I think I'm like, there's like 3 things I could be misremembering, so hopefully that's the case, but I will check on that beforehand. Anyways, I think I want to go do some of the less mandatory quests now, just to knock them out. I need a higher mining level for some of the upcoming quests I want to do, so picking up an adamant pickaxe here. 38 right now, shouldn't be that bad to get to 40, which is the level I need for some of the upcoming quests, if that wasn't clear. There's 40 mining. Also picked up pretty much all the stuff we need. I actually need to note this Renard before I forget, so I can put that in the looting bag whenever I go back to Edgel or Varrock or wherever. Also have an easy casket to open after the quest, which is Watchtower. And this should be the end of Watchtower, which will take us up to 51 magic. And that will subsequently clear up an inventory spot, because now we can equip the Tome of Fire, which will give us unlimited fire runes for non-combat spells, as we can see here. And that doesn't cost anything. I think it can count for fire runes, but it costs charges, in addition to the charges it takes from, dealing extra damage, but we'll just use the Staff of Fire for combat-related things anyways. We also have this reward casket to open up, and it was surprisingly not bad, just because we got 7k coins from it, but the rest of it's terrible. Came over to the Mage Training Arena. I don't know what was just happening in my recording there. Okay, hopefully that didn't mess anything up. Anyways, you said to buy 1 mud rune for the quest we're about to do. This is the easiest way to get it by far, I believe. This might be how I get to 55 magic in the future, because Bones to Peaches, I think we're going to need to unlock for an achievement diary, and it may come in handy on some Slayer tasks, although that's not really entirely relevant. I do want to get it for the diary anyways, so may as well unlock it sooner. And of course you want to probably have high Alch before starting Slayer. This is going to be a big one. I didn't realize this one gave magic XP as well, so we're going to be even closer to 55 than I otherwise would have expected, because this should give us 12k, as well as the biggest runecrafting XP drop you've ever seen in your life. And that we'll probably ever see on this account, because I'm never going to use lamps on runecrafting because Herblore. Anyways, to 52 magic, about 5k away from 53. 26 runecrafting, what was that, 10 levels? 8 levels, something like that? Very solid, and pretty much the main reason I wanted to do this quest. Oh, more importantly, long term, this unlocks the Crystal Saw, which we should be able to reclaim, from Brimsteel at pretty much any time we want. And that gives an invisible +3 boost to construction that allows you to build things that require a saw 3 levels above your construction level. There's a Soul's Bane, bringing us really close to 40 defense, but not quite. That quest is way harder than I remember it being. The boss is a pushover, but everything else hits for like constant 5s, and it was just kind of annoying. This should be the end of Rag and Bone Man. This one honestly wasn't too bad. I am dreading the second one though, whenever we get around to doing that. Requires 40 Slayer though. And something about these quests. They have you doing all this killing of various things, and they don't give Slayer XP. How much sense does that make? Okay, so I guess we can start this without the requirements, which I guess means we can do this incrementally. Interesting to note, but I'm still not going to worry about it for now. Just kind of sucks to have this yellow on the quest list now. I'm finally going to break down and buy a rune sword for just over 20k here. I'm doing Spirits of the Elid, and you need a weapon of each style. And turns out the Steel Axe and the Drayman Staff are not cutting it. Pun intended, I guess. The Adamant Pickaxe, however, did suffice for the Crush style. So yeah, I didn't plan on getting a Rune Scimitar anyways, because hopefully we're close enough to 60 after we're done questing that we don't have to train for too long to be able to wield the dragon scimitar, so I didn't see it as being worth the time to get a rune scimitar, so rune sword it is. And there's the end of that, taking us up to 45 prayer. First prayer level in quite a long time, but that means we're fully unlocked this tier of offensive prayers, I guess is what I would call it, Eagle Eye and Mystic Might. And that'll be the last thing we unlock that's actually useful for quite a while. Name a more iconic quartet, I dare ya. So I'm just going to be chilling out the rest of the night and working on getting 45 mining. So if there's any jumping levels, that'll be why. Just picked up 45 mining, so I'm going to go ahead and gather the items needed for Anakara's Lament. And this should be the end of it coming up here. We should get a couple levels coming in from this. Oh, that was him. It's been ages since I've done this quest, honestly. It's another one of those. A lot of these, like, random ones, I guess, I haven't done in a long time. And there it is. 46 mining, 53 magic, just shy of 52 crafting, and the fire making XP is pretty much just wasted. Oh, we also got 1100 total. Nice little bonus there. There's A Tale of Two Cats finished. As with most quests. Oh yeah, by the way, I was talking to this person here. I don't know why I said it that way, but I've been talking to a lot of people in game actually. Just, they randomly start talking to me, and I end up usually adding them and messaging them after. Which is definitely in contrast to my experience playing earlier on. I guess I was probably more averse to that sort of thing. Anyways, Tale of Two Cats done. Got a mouse toy, I didn't realize that. And also 2 lamps for 2.5k XP each, which we're throwing straight in Herblore, of course, putting us very close to 45. There's Troll Stronghold done. Really nothing of note here. We can make law runes now, but it's pretty much never going to be a thing, so this is almost strictly to unlock the next quest. Alright, since when has this been a thing? There is a shortcut to the Troll Stronghold now? I mean, it's useful, but interesting. Oh yeah, this is going to be very handy for when we need to get Goutweed in the future. Okay, there's Troll Romance done, putting us up to 42 strength and most of the way to 43. Honestly, this could not have worked out better because the boss dropped a Renar, and I was going to have to put off Edgar's Ruse because I was going to be too lazy to either get my Renar from my looting bag or get one as a drop from men or something, Chaos Druids maybe. But with this, lined up perfectly. This quest puts way more strain on your inventory than I realized. Edgar's Ruse, that is. So I just ended up dropping a bunch of stuff. It wasn't worth that much. It's mostly just a pain to get everything back. Minor inconvenience, really. I did put our cash in the Nightmare Zone coffer. There's like 641k there currently. And also put some of the more valuable stuff in our looting bag, because I don't think I'll be using either of these for a decent amount of time. Actually, I was thinking there might be something I use the rune sword for. Actually, nope, never mind. I thought myself out of that earlier, so anyways, on to the quest. Turns out I skipped a whole section of the quest guide where you do something with this parrot. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but honestly, every space goes a long way when you're completely maxed out. Like that would have saved me from having to drop an item or put something in my bag, or etc, etc. Oh well, lesson learned. Alright, finally done with that. Took me so long to get the Goutweed. I tried the one-click trick and eventually got it. It just took me a minute to learn it. That is our 14th or 15th quest. We're up to 177 quest points. 46 Herblore from that. But now I think I'm going to switch gears just because our inventory is so light right now, and get my cooking level up at the Lumbered Cellar, the Culinary Wizard's chest, using the wine method. So I've cleared out the last few things in my inventory that weren't necessary for me to keep, and that leaves me with 24 spaces. The idea here is to buy 12 grapes, 12 jugs, fill the jugs up at the sink, let them ferment as I'm hopping and buying other grapes, and repeat. dropping the wines, of course. This does stock 6 grapes at maximum capacity, which is why I wanted to be able to have 12 and 12. But all the wells I've had to have had 5, so guessing there's somebody doing this, which is mildly annoying. So I'm just about to finish getting up 45 favor for City's house. Go ahead and do that. Yep, now we can access the mess hall. So I think I'm going to do that from 45 to 100 favor right now. Because we're already training cooking, that gives us some cooking XP, so might as well. I think it's technically faster than wines, but I have a feeling I'm not going to want to do mess hall all the way to 70 just because wines are a bit more chill. And I was comfortable with the rates I was getting at wines. I was getting between like 120 and 150k an hour, according to RuneLight. I think that average, below 150, but because of the initial setup time, it was inflated a little bit. Anyways, I know that is a bit of a jump, but I want 75% of City's favor for Woodcutting Guild for a future quest, Animal Magnetism, so I figured I might as well just finish this off right now. Alright, so the favor gains here were a little ridiculous. That was very fast. I was here like 10-15 minutes, and I got the remaining 55% favor. The XP I was getting like 155k an hour. I think that would scale up a little bit more as I got slightly faster at it, but honestly, wines are so chill that I'm worth losing between a small and medium amount of XP per hour to not have to click so much, because honestly, 15 minutes of this was definitely enough for me. And another thing I noticed decided to check out, Control Backspace works for clearing out your entire but text box, which I didn't ever know before. So interesting little tidbit if you don't want to have a bunch of garbage in your chat by just pressing enter, even though I'm guessing most people don't care about that. Anyways, back to the wines. And this should be 68 cooking coming in, up from 65. This is going pretty well so far. RuneLight says I'm getting 148k XP an hour, and it's only been like 40-50 minutes, something like that. Have maybe maximum of like an hour left at that rate to get to 70. However, somebody else has started doing this, and they broke the flow of my worlds, so I may take a bit of a detour and go do something else for the time being until a bit later when hopefully there are less people doing this. Okay, I gotta record this quick while the lawn mowing people are around the other side of the building. Decided I'm gonna do some Mage Training Arena to start working towards Bones to Peaches, and in general just get our magic level up because that'll be useful for the future. This is what I've got so far. I'm gonna buy a few more cosmics with my coins. Deposited the rest in the Nightmare Zone coffer because you can't take coins into the Alchemy Arena. Yeah, we'll see how far this gets me. We have 509k in the coffer remaining from our Wintertop money, and if it becomes a big enough concern, the amount of money we have, that is, I will end up doing thieving and go for blackjacking at some point. Here comes 55 magic. We can now finally use High Elk, which is going to be very nice for the future. If we want a point update here that I've gotten from these 2 levels, so I didn't know it would do that, but okay. About 40% on enchantment, a little over quarter on graveyard, I think halfway or a third of the way on telekinetic, and absolutely no alchemist because I was waiting until we had High Elk. Alright, after quite a long time, most of the day actually, we haven't quite gotten to the point where we can use Bones to Peaches, or I guess use, but also buy. However, we are 3/4 of the way there. Enchantment is the fastest one by far. I just got 1,000 points and I don't even know how long, but you don't even have to focus really. At least I didn't feel like doing that. Cosmic runes are cheap enough that I just sat in a corner and spammed on the little shapes they have there. Anyways, graveyard is obviously a nightmare. Everybody knows that, especially before Bones to Peaches, because eating bananas takes more time than it's even worth. personally, I got a bunch of cakes, dropped them all outside, went down to like 4 HP, left, filled up, went back in. Still, it wasn't that slow. I think Telekinetic has been the slowest so far. I don't remember how fast Alchemist is. And the reason I haven't done this quite yet, and may not in this video, is I did some reading on the wiki, and it implied that it would take about 1,000 nature runes to finish off, which is like 200-ish K, or like 225 if you're buying 1,000 natures from Ali Morrisane. I don't know if I want to front that right now. That would be over half of what we have left after all this that is going on. So yeah, that's just something I'll need to think about a bit more. I do want to finish off cooking before the video ends and the night is over. So I think I'll go ahead and do that now, and then possibly mull over the alchemist situation and do that next video. But we'll have to see for the future. We'll get some money from thieving inevitably, and Slayer as well whenever we go do that. So it's really just a matter of how important it is to have the money that we have right now instead of in the future. And this last batch of wines should knock out 70 cooking, which I believe is the highest skill requirement for cooking in terms of questing. So nice to get that out of the way now. That is the requirement for, once again, freeing the Monkey King for Recipe for Disaster. If we check that in the quest log somewhere, pretty much the only thing standing between us and that is Monkey Madness. We could, I believe, go ahead and do that right now. I don't know if I want to. I am going to be ending the episode here because it's nearing the length that I typically like to have it. I know we're kind of doing we as in me, I guess I always use the real we though. I know I've been doing a lot of random stuff, it seems like. It all has a greater purpose in the end, and I'll mention this at the beginning of next episode, but one of my greater goals is to get Quest Cape, which is why I'm doing a lot of quests that may not seem completely relevant right now. They're just easier and more macro efficient overall to knock out earlier on rather than wait until the point where, say, 2k Herblore XP doesn't matter, or 11k or whatever else. Same with like skill levels. Haunted Mine gives a lot of strength XP, which, the more XP you have earlier on, the better in terms of those skills, because, it kind of feeds into itself. So that's sort of my thought process behind doing things early as I possibly can. That being said, I am nearing the point where there are getting to be very few quests I can do, and if we filter down, these are all the quests we have left overall, which is very few compared to how many there are. I mean, I have 177 quest points. So a lot of these are going to have higher skill requirements. The Great Brain Robbery, 50 Prayer, 2 other quests with skill requirements I don't have, etc., etc. And then like the super high-end quests obviously have a ton of quest requirements, skill requirements, so those will definitely be saved until later on. That being said, once again, I just like knocking things out. This isn't so much a series for the sake of being a series like some YouTubers do, not a dig on them or anything, just not my intent. This is more so following my personal progress and documenting my journey through the game mode and the account. Just doing things the way I like doing them, for the most part. I do sometimes pander to the content, I guess you could say. I don't like being super repetitive or recording the same thing over and over, which is why I don't typically record every level at this point. Like if I have a defined goal of getting 70 cooking, let's say, and I'm 63, I'm not going to record 64 through 70, because it's like, first of all, I have a tendency to ramble as I'm doing now, but it's just kind of tedious to be like, oh, I get 64 and I get 66. I think as a viewer and as me personally. Plus, I tend to want to record the type of content I would watch, and that tends to be content where maybe it's not necessarily something you watch completely, but something you listen to and kind of watch as you're AFKing something or playing a game or doing something else. So that's sort of my intent with that. Maybe this is more apt for a channel update type video, but thought I'd throw it in here at the end in case anyone was curious. Anyways, next episode, I'm going to try to refine some more goals, have them plainly stated early on, and go from there. If you enjoyed the episode, feel free to give it a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more. Leave me a comment down below if you want to. I'm always there, reading them, responding and such. Anyways, hope you had a good time. See ya.